best known as prolific tennis players.
I think that telling this story for me is about inspiring another generation to become champions in their own right.
A new series on them will premiere on October 1st.
The best way to be able to tell our story and from a very independent perspective as well, which was important.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Leander Paes and Mahesh Bhupati for excellence in tennis.
Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview as part of our NewsX A-List series. We're joined today by two guests who need no introduction. Yes, former Indian tennis players, Grand Slam champions, Olympians, and two individuals who, of course, made the country very proud and who made a name for India all over the world are joining us. Mahesh Bhupati and Leander Paes. Welcome firstly to NewsX. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Let me, just begin by talking about this very special 7-part series. It's called Breakpoint. It's, of course, premiering on ZEE5 from the 1st of October, directed by, of course, the award-winning husband-wife duo of Nitesh Tiwari and Ashwini Iyer Tiwari. So firstly, Mahesh, you're now more private, a bit more private than Leander. So what actually convinced you, to come on board and actually narrate your story through this 7-part series from breakup to bromance, as the title says?
Well, I think, I think Leander and me have collectively and individually been approached to tell the story many times in the past. I think, there's no doubt about, what talent comes with working together with Nitesh and Ashwini, but not many people know about their love and passion for tennis, which came across, I think, in their first call with us. Marry that with our interest in doing it and their creative talent. And we thought, I think, together, because we spoke offline about it, that was possibly the best way to be able to tell our story and from a very independent perspective as well, which was important.
True. Leander, of course, your series, as a description which I was reading before the interview says that, talks, of course, a lot about the on-court success, but also the off-court relationship that you both share, and also a lot of what happens behind the scenes, which fans and viewers don't actually get to see. So was that a big part for you to do this series as well, this show, to give your, people who've appreciated you, supported you over the years, a behind the scenes look as well at what made this iconic pair?
For me, it was very important to tell the Leander Mahesh story very raw, very real. And I think that's the reason that we chose this platform, because you could tell it in an episode format rather than in a feature film format. I also think that having this many episodes, you can tell different versions of the story and different parts of the story from both our perspectives. And what I really love about what Ashwini and Nitesh Bhai have done is that their magic lies in telling the nuances of human emotion and telling it very real. To me, Nitesh Tiwari is brilliant in the way he understands human emotion. And the combination of Ashwini and Nitesh together is brilliant in the way that they knew how to handle the different personalities of Mahesh and Leander. So Mahesh and me are very different as people, but that's what also makes us gel so well. That's what completes us. That is the reason probably why we won Wimbledon and the French Open.
Yes.
And I think that telling this story for me is about inspiring another generation to become champions in their own right. Not just in tennis, not just in sport, but if two young brown Mundes can go and be #1 in the world in the field of tennis, and I think young Indians can be champions in any walk of life, especially with the knowledge we have today using tech. You can develop champions anywhere.
True. And in fact, before I get back to the series, and let me ask that question to Mahesh. Mahesh Bhupati, you, of course, both of you, have charted your success. And now, looking at the young generation in tennis, what do you think about the state of Indian tennis today? And the sport today that you've of course left after doing very well on court?
I think there's a lot more depth today, specifically in men's tennis. We've got about 5 or 6 guys who are hovering between 100 and 120, 200 in the world.
Mhm.
Obviously, all of us are waiting for a couple of them to make that breakthrough so that we can consistently see them playing in Grand Slams. Unfortunately, the wave that Sania created in the women's sport hasn't really translated into that kind of depth in the women's game. But, again, it's just a factor of there being no system in this country to kind of support this talent, unfortunately, which continues to be the Achilles heel of developing champions in India.
Yeah. We saw a bit of a fiasco with the Olympics as well recently, but yes, hopefully this show will be an inspiration, no doubt, for youngsters, to take to the sport, to also aspire to become Pace and Bhupati in the future, and make India proud. But it's not easy, Leander, reliving your story, your journey. I'm sure there must have been good moments and tough moments as well, emotional moments as well. So just quickly, what was the best moment while retelling your story, and what was the most emotional moment or the most difficult moment recounting and reliving?
The last 18 months of making this docuseries has been such a phenomenal journey, because in some ways, going back and watching all the live footage of how we won those matches to win Wimbledon, how we won those matches in Athens to lose that Olympic bronze medal, how we won those matches to win the French Open, not once, but twice.
Mm-hmm.
The nuances of those matches and watching the live footage, which I hadn't watched before, to see some of Mahesh's reactions after winning Wimbledon, how he was in disbelief of when I said when we were 14 years old, would you like to win Wimbledon? And how he laughed and he said, "Tu to pagal hai." But then when we won Wimbledon as 2 young Indian boys, the look that he gave me when we sat on that bench next to the umpire's chair, I'd never seen that look before. And to actually watch it in the live footage here showed me emotions that Mahesh never ever showed before. He's quite introverted and quite, he gives you one-word answers. And sometimes, a lot of the times, I would read him through his body language or through his eyes, which also made it tough to see it all the time. But when I saw that emotion at Wimbledon on the court when we won, I wish I had seen that earlier. I wish I'd seen this footage earlier to actually show what it meant to him, to show, that emotion that he had towards me in his eyes at that moment was really special to see through making of this docuseries.
Okay.
Some of the hardest points also, Uday, would be in 20 years, there are a few issues that we've had with each other we've never addressed. And through the last few months of making this docuseries, we actually got to address those issues and probably have a laugh at it. And that was really cool, because I have utmost respect for Mahesh and what we've done together. We also have a great camaraderie. And I think that the docuseries also shows me in one light what he would like me to do different and what I would like him to do different. And hindsight's always 20/20, isn't it? But the makings of it has also brought us closer together.
Fantastic.
We're also 20 years older, so one would think there's a little more wisdom in there to actually learn. But it's been a great journey, and for that, I really enjoyed the process.
Well, truly appreciate your honesty as well, and I think that's going to make this series all the more successful. Seeing a very honest portrayal and honest adaptation, of course. So, waiting for the 1st of October. Mahesh, same question to you. What was the best, point of reliving these moments for you? What was one best moment, and which was the hardest or most emotional?
I think, the best moment was, again, watching the footage, right? As athletes, you don't really watch your matches. It's not like a movie where you go and watch the screening, right? You move on to the next tournament. And, this was the first time I've seen tons of footage. I mean, not only the Grand Slam winning matches, I even watched our quarterfinal win at Wimbledon, where we came back from 2 sets to love down. And I literally spent 3.5 hours riveted to the screen watching this match, because it kind of brought back so many memories on how we were, a few points away from being thrown out of Wimbledon and what turned it to win. So watching the footage was definitely the highlight for me. I think, reliving some of the memories, I think, one thing that which was interesting because we did the whole documentary individually, right? This is so from Nitesh and Ashwini's perspective, they said, listen, we're sitting in the middle, and everything. When you talk to me, you sound right. When he talks to me, he sounds right. I mean, unfortunately, there was no one wise enough or mature enough to sit in the middle of both of you and make things work. And I think just like Leander said, reliving those episodes was definitely an emotional time.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, well, last couple of questions for you before we call a break to this Breakpoint interview. Mahesh, for you, which has been the most special tournament or special match that both of you have won? I know it's tough to perhaps say one, but any one?
I think there's two matches. I think Wimbledon final, obviously, the pinnacle of our achievements, I think. But I think in Davis Cup, when we beat the US in the US, I think we've got that incredible Davis Cup record, which a lot of people like to discount at times because a lot of those matches were played against Asian opposition. But if you really go through it, we've beaten some of the best teams in the world in their home ground. And that year we beat the US team who had won Wimbledon. So that was definitely a very special match for us as well.
Okay. Last word to you, Leander, on yes, I'd like you also to say, is that your most special match, or do you have another pick?
There are two achievements that really stand out for me there. One is winning Wimbledon.
Okay.
That week we had to come back from 2 sets to win in 5 sets for 2 matches.
Yeah.
The final at Wimbledon was just something else. So winning Wimbledon is one big moment in our career. And the other is to be number 1 in the world.
Okay. Yeah.
That's pretty special too, to have 2 Indian boys as number 1 in the world.
Yes, no doubt that's there in your bio, former world number 1, both of you, and that is certainly something huge. Okay, last quick questions to you, which are a bit hatke, but I'd like you still to address it because first time we're meeting after these two achievements. Leander, first, gold medal, Neeraj Chopra. Your quick reaction, how that made you feel. You're also a former gold medalist for India.
I actually got to meet Neeraj a couple weeks ago, and he is such a humble champion.
Yeah.
For India to have a gold medal in javelin is phenomenal because it's not a regular sport for India. It's not a sport that we traditionally have any history with.
Yes.
And Neeraj's training and the way that he has developed his character and his personality is fantastic. To get to share that space with him and chat with him and talk to him about the nuances of how he won his medal, and he's like, Paji, aap kis tarah se jeete? And he started asking me about 1996 and in the 80s when I was training, how did I develop to emulate what my father had done, which is win an Olympic medal. Was a great conversation. I think he's a thorough champion.
Okay, no doubt. And Mahesh, quick question for you on what you thought of your wife who's floored the entire nation with her performance in bell bottom, unrecognizable as Indira Gandhi. I saw it, I loved it. I want to know your reaction to what you thought of it when you saw it.
Yeah, I mean, super thrilled that everyone had that reaction. Obviously, I saw the process the first day they came to the house to put the prosthetics on her. So I was involved in the process from the beginning, but it was pretty surreal when it all came together, and it came together so well. So that was nice.
No doubt. Okay. Well, thank you both so much for joining us on NewsX. And as I said, we're very proud of you. And hopefully, I'm sure, of course, you already have so many fans, but perhaps you'll have many more once people watch Breakpoint as well on ZEE5. Thank you both, Leander and Mahesh.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ash.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.